Yo, what is up guys? I'm bringing you a brand new video, and this time we're talking about skill add-ons for both Succession as well as Awakening Berserker. I'm going to take you through the logic as to why I choose the add-ons that I do, and hopefully that's going to give you guys an informed opinion of my add-ons and show you guys that I kind of thought pretty hard about them and got a pretty optimized setup for both grinding PvP and 1v1s as well as in large scale. But before I take you through my Succession add-ons here first, I'll do Awakening later. Make sure you guys have a Secret Book of Old Moon, or you guys also have maybe some memory fragments if you don't have that in order to change your add-ons. And let's navigate to the nearest skill instructor and get started here. So for skill add-ons, these are my current Succession add-ons. Now I start off with Storming Beast and Frenzied Destroyer. Generally, these are the two abilities you're going to be using in every single combo, and for that reason, in a 1v1 scenario, you're going to want to focus on the target that you have the most trouble killing, which is generally an evasion target. So having all evasion -4 as well as all accuracy +3, really helpful, as well as -10 DP to help out against maybe some DR targets, and this also does help out against evasion targets as well. And then critical hit rate +20% for 7 seconds. Now, generally a spin like Raging Thunder is going to be part of your combo, and having extra critical hit rate on that ability makes it chunk even harder. So that's kind of why we chose critical hit rate +20% for 7 seconds. Now, moving on to Wrath of Beast. This is an ability that generally, if you're in trouble, you're going to be using. So if you get knocked down and you're standing in the middle of a bunch of people, or you have your back against a wall, it's a really useful frontal guard heal that's going to save your life some of the time. And so having an attack and casting speed +7% so it goes off quicker, as well as all evasion +4 to give you a little bit of tankiness. Now, I am an evasion player, so keep this in mind that the reason that I choose all evasion +4 is because of that. However, if you are a DR player, you're probably going to want to change this to +15 defense and forego the +4 evasion, because it's really not going to help you at all. So moving on to the Succession skills, I have Prime Devastation as my Succession skill here at the top, and it gives attack speed +7% for 7 seconds. Generally, this can be pretty nice in like a large scale situation. You use Devastation followed by a Raging Thunder, so your Raging Thunder goes off quicker so you can get that damage out faster. As well as it can be nice for some PvE, getting a little bit faster attack speed. And then damage against monsters +20%, or +20 for 7 seconds. This could be nice for PvE as well. Now, this is more of the PvP focus skill. If you were to really want to do more of a PvE focus, I'd probably change this ability out, and I would choose something like Fear Strike. Fear Strike is an ability that we use in PvE because it has the -15 DP on it, and if you put monster damage on it, it doesn't have a cooldown. And then you could also put the casting speed on it as well, so you can constantly have this up at all times. That's more of a PvE focus, though. Moving on to Raging Thunder, though. In Raging Thunder, I have PvP damage +10, as well as all DP -15 for 10 seconds. And the reason for that is Raging Thunder is kind of our bread and butter damage of Succession in both large scale and even in a 1v1 combo. So having an extra effective 25 AP, once you do all the math, it makes it where it's pretty damn chunky. It's going to be doing do a lot of chunking, dude. So pretty nice. And then we also have Predatory Hunt. Now, Predatory Hunt's an ability that gives you a critical hit rate +30% when you do your jump, whether you do 4 or your first big one. And that's going to give critical hit rate +30% on the skill, as well as critical hit rate on the add-on. Makes it so that you're going to crit 60% extra in addition to whatever your ability is going to be that you use next for the next 7 seconds. And generally, after a huge Predatory Hunt, you're probably going to go into a Raging Thunder in most large-scale situations. And so for that reason, having the critical hit damage on the ability as well as on the add-on gives you 60% extra crit on an ability that has none. And then you get a critical hit damage +5% for 5 seconds. It's going to make your 200% as well as your just regular spin absolutely demolish after you're using Predatory Hunt. It's quite an insane amount of damage, and it's going to be super noticeable with these add-ons. So that's sort of my logic for doing succession add-ons. The only ones that, once again, I would change is maybe Devastation if you want to go to Fierce Strike for more of a PvE thing. But in general, I find that Succession's PvE is better than Awakening anyway, so I don't really miss the damage against monsters too much. So I kind of just leave Fierce Strike since it's a very niche ability. That's really only PvE oriented, and you're only really using it with your claws in general. Yeah, I opt for Devastation. So moving on to the Awakening. So let's swap over to Awakening here. And we got to quickly level up some skills. So the Awakening add-ons are not going to be all too different. We're not really going to change any of the pre-Awaken ones, and we're going to focus mostly on our Awakening ones here, because a lot still exists in the Awakening combo, as does in the Succession combo. You still use Storming Beast, Frenzy Destroyer all the time in Awakening, and then Wrath of Beast is still your panic button that I use all the time. But for Awakening, I also choose Devastation. Now, this one is less optional. This one I feel very passionately about, so you should probably, I would suggest keeping these particular ones, but I like having the attack and casting speed -7%, as well as the movement speed -7% on Devastation. Now, you can use Devastation or Earth Divide independently on Awakening, and for that reason, it makes it where you have two different outlets to get a 30% slow on the actual skill and -7% in addition to that with the add-on. If you hit somebody with that, -30% movement is super toxic, and it makes 1v1s so much easier against some of these little rat classes that are able to teleport around and iframe and all that stuff. So it's really, really nice. And it also cripples people in large scale. This is a huge AoE, and because of that, you're going to be slowing a lot of people for a large amount, and that's going to get them killed. So really, really useful to have attack cast speed -7, as well as movement speed -7 on that skill. Now for the second one, this is more of the PvE oriented one. And this is a really good PvE oriented one. Ground lifting, damage against monsters +20 for 7 seconds, as well as attack casting speed. So the attack casting speed can be useful for PvP. You're generally going to get the most out of it in a 1v1, but even sometimes you'll use ground lifting in large scale after a lava pierce, and you get a little extra attack speed to hopefully get quicker into your protections, and you're not going to get CC'd. So hopefully that's going to be something that you can utilize in large scale, but it's generally a 1v1 PvE focus. And since it has no cooldown on the ability, you can proc this whenever you want, as well as it will proc from General Disarray. You're practically going to be proccing these 24/7 in PvE, and you're not going to have to worry about it at all. So it's really nice PvE as well as the 1v1 as well. So moving on to the last one. Now, I choose Titan Blow. Now, there's a pretty specific reason why I choose negative DP 20, as well as critical hit damage +5% on Titan Blow. So in the future, when we get bonds, Titan Blow actually has 100% critical hit rate, and I also think that it's going to be a super useful bond to have a frontal guard on, especially for large scale. So getting all DP -20 as well as critical hit damage on already 100% crit ability is going to be nice. But in addition to that, Ancient Wave also procs this add-on. And the way that add-ons work is the very first hit of an ability. So in Ancient Wave's case, it has 7 hits. The first hit procs negative DP as well as critical hit damage +5%. And the following 6 hits of that Ancient Wave will benefit off of these add-ons. So pretty much what you're doing is you're just boosting up Ancient Wave and Split Shot and making it where your target's going to have -20 DP as well as critical hit damage +5% for yourself. And since Ancient Wave is also 100% critical hit ability, you're pretty much just saying, I want to do even more damage with my Ancient Wave, and you're going to have less DP while I do it. So it's a really, really nice add-on, and I definitely notice Ancient Wave hitting way harder when I have this Titan Blow add-on. So try it out for yourself and see what you think. But yeah, these are my Awakening add-ons. Probably what I would suggest. You got the PvE, you got the large scale, you got the 1v1, you got sort of the defensive type stuff, and this is pretty much the perfect add-ons that I never really have to change. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys are interested, you can subscribe to the channel for more of these types of videos, tips and tricks, how-to guides. And the next one we're probably going to be covering for Berserker specifically is going to be the bond skills and which ones are the best. So make sure you look out for that video, or if you're watching this at a later date, the video is already up. But other than that, guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.